what did you hear about the two groups? First, tell me, what were they called? Say it hot. Say it louder.
Federalists.
Federalists. Okay, so we have Federalists.
Republicans.
Yeah, they.
Republic Party of Democrats.
It's complicated.
Say it like that?
I don't know. Okay, so we've got Federalists, and then we have.
Republicans.
Well, we're gonna call them.
Anti-Federalists.
We're gonna call them anti-Federalists. What does anti mean?
Against.
Against. Okay, and they did come up with this brilliant name called the Republican. He calls them Republicans. And then they call themselves Democratic Republicans, and it's hard to keep up with them. Okay, so we're going to call them anti-Federalists. All right. So, give me some characteristics of one or the other. So, Jacob.
Anti-Federate, they really just want to stay inside the country and not spread out too soon.
Yeah, I like that. Who did they want to have the power?
The farmers.
The rich people.
Well,
Where do the people live?
in the land? State.
In the states. Okay, so they argued for strong state government. Okay, who is kind of the lead person that they were talking about? Thomas who?
Jefferson.
Yep. All right. So Tom is really spearheading the anti-federalists. All right. Who was the guy over here?
Abraham Lincoln.
Hamilton.
It was Alexander Hamilton. Okay.
Is that
Join
him?
Oh, that's a shade.
Is the show about him?
Yeah.
George
All right.
Washington machine.
So if hello up here,
Thank you.
up here.
Hey. George Washington.
If anti-federalists want strong state government, that's what that is. What kind of government do the Federalists want?
Strong country.
Like a strong
National.
national government. Good. So strong.
What kind is that?
We call that a federal government, like a strong central government. Okay. So strong. I'll put central gov. Okay. All right. What else did you notice about the two groups, Easton?
Oh, well, the Federalists wanted to have a bunch of trade with Britain and all that.
Yes, trade, lots of trade, not with just themselves. Exactly.
Oh, this is before the money actually existed, so they had to use
Well,
taxes
they were
and
exactly. So they wanted to generate money through trade and with others, but also they wanted to, like, what are they going to trade?
I think
Stuff
like
that other
animals,
people
like
have.
an instrument
Maybe.
or something.
Really things that they made, not raw materials like cotton necessarily, but things that they would make out of those raw
Maybe other
materials.
things countries didn't
Okay.
have, like Africa,
So
Iran.
this is called
Countries that might not have cotton.
this is called manufacturing. Okay. So you take those raw materials, you take the wood, you take the metal, you turn it into something new that people want, and they're going to trade with other countries. Now, what did Thomas Jefferson see? I think you kind of mentioned it
He wanted
already.
the states to trade with each other.
Yeah, maybe,
You want to
but
have industries in the States.
no. Why? Right. So, like small farms. Or he also called it agrarian, like agri.
Agricultural.
Yep. Agrarian. There you go. So an agricultural society. He wanted all the families or all individuals to have small farms that they could live off the land for themselves and be independent from everybody else. So he did not want to rely on other countries for support, except for he did. What country was he in favor of? Good. He used to be the ambassador to France, so he was already good friends with France.
France went to crippling debt just to get back at Britain.
I guess a lot of
And that was part of it too. He appreciated that France actually helped us win the war against Great Britain.
If it weren't for France,
Okay.
we'd be living in Britain.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
Britain's territory.
So, and you're saying that Alexander Hamilton wanted to be friends with.
Why would he want to be friends with Britain? They just try to.
I'll tell you why. He wanted to be friends with Great Britain because they were the most powerful empire at the time and getting more powerful. So he wanted to be influential.
Because they were in a debt, so they tried trading with China.
Well, yeah, and they do,
China,
and they do expand their influence. Plus, it's easier to understand the culture of Great Britain because that's where we came from, and so he gravitated to Great Britain. He wanted to be independent of them for sure, but he saw where we could actually be
I would try working on it.
successful because of the friendship there. Okay. What else? Did you notice anything else? Oh, you said something about whiskey, right?
They tax
No, I didn't say about the
Well, someone did.
They
They
tax
tax
whiskey
taxes
and
on
then
the
they
whiskey.
started destroying the small farmers.
taxes.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
Right.
They
God.
could keep making whiskey because they weren't forward.
All right. So Alexander Hamilton saw a way to generate money because you can't run a country without it. I'm just saying.
Are you sure?
So yeah, pretty sure. All right. So taxing whiskey was one way to do that. But again, the small farmers were like, this is the only way we make money, or not the only way, but the big way we make money. And if we're having to pay taxes, that's actually going to lessen our income. So there was actually a rebellion called Shays Rebellion. And while George Washington was president, he hopped on his horse and sent an army, and that's what they talked about, 13,000 troops to suppress that rebellion.
Was
It's the
that
only president who's led like a military campaign while he was sitting as president.
was that during one of those wars?
It was
Wars?
no.
Like 1, 2, or 3? 3.
No, we haven't had World War III yet.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, do we still have
It's gonna be
tax
China,
on
I'm
whiskey?
calling it right now.
No, you're not.
Ladies and gentlemen, do we still have a tax on whiskey / alcohol?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And some people say we have a tax on alcohol because we want people to not drink it. Well, that doesn't stop people from purchasing it. So it's really a way to generate income for the city or the state. Okay.
Why is Westbrook a dry?
A dry county,
Yeah, a dry not town.
a dry town,
Yeah.
so they can't sell it
Yeah.
at all.
No, there's no alcohol.
There's no.
I did not notice that. That's what the city wanted. Okay.
I don't think they've ever needed.
Maybe not. I don't know if that's necessarily the reason.
Because there's one right down there.
All right. So, question:
Answer.
which one did we actually become? This one or this one?
The
both.
Federalists.
We became both.
Yeah. We actually are trading with others.
I think
We
we need to
manufacture
stop
a whole lot. Do we still have farms?
Yeah.
Of course, but they're
Yeah.
huge farms,
more
agriculturally or
people to
livestock. Pardon?
Because there's more people to feed.
Right.
Give me
Exactly.
more
We need to stop trading with
animals.
some people.
Now
Especially
people
China. We should just go to
People
Canada.
eat too.
Whoa.
I
Well,
know.
I'll tell you something right now. That's a good observation. And you would think that why would we want to stop trading with China?
They got a ton of disease, and we're not very good with them. So
Yeah, but
So we
China's
do
not
have a
virus.
love-hate relationship with China.
I mean,
But who makes the decisions on who we trade with?
China or
No.
wait, or is it us? I think it's us.
No. The private businesses that are created in America can decide if they want to trade with China. Why do they trade with China?
Because a bunch of people live there.
Because they want diseases.
And it's
Because
cheap to
there's a lot of
manufacture
cheap.
lives there.
What? I heard it.
it.
Because it's cheap.
I said that.
Okay, sorry. There's lots of people talking.
Wait, Zach?
So the businesses here want some of the stuff that China has because it's made cheaply, and that will give the businesses here a larger profit. Okay, so while we could, manufacture and make things here, it would actually cost you more money because we
Because
pay our
labor's more
workers
expensive.
more. Okay, So if you're upset about trading with China, you need to talk with the privately owned businesses and say, hey, can you stop trading with China? And I guarantee they'll probably say no because it's going to give them less money. Okay?
But they have Ching Chong virus.
That's inappropriate.
But
Okay?
the
And
the Chinese people speak Chinese. How are you gonna understand them when they speak Chinese?
well, people in America speak Chinese and people in China speak English. So
What about translators?
Well, they can have translators too.
That could be very
yeah,
bad.
but it's been around for a while before that. And that's not what we're talking about. Now, question. Okay, so we actually ended up having both. Why couldn't they come to an agreement and have both back then?
Because they were just
Perhaps.
Because people like to start.
What? What do they like to start?
I don't know. I just guess.
No. We're talking about human nature now. Okay?
They just want to start an argument.
I think that's
they
part
wanted
of
to
it.
take the credit.
They want to take credit for it?
I have no
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's part of it too. That they want to be more powerful. Now, it seems like, and then we'll actually look,
And they
Hamilton
want to get back
and Jefferson.
Jacob. Was that you, Jacob?
Yeah, moving on. Hamilton and Jefferson had to work together under George Washington, and they hated each other's guts. Okay? But they had to work with one another. Harrison, can you? All right. And we're going to actually look at how they interacted with one another, and it's quite elementary. Okay?
Elementary?
Meaning they acted like kids.
Oh,
All right?
makes sense.
So my question is, okay, we've got these two groups. Why couldn't they come to an agreement about certain things? We obviously ended up with farms and trading. Okay. Why can we not disagree yet compromise at the same time without hating each other's guts?
Because we don't like
everyone
each
always
other?
has their
It's just human nature.
Well, can you not have your opinion?
You can,
And
but then it's
still-
just an argument.
Nowadays, not really.
Well, it was like that back then. Okay. So they didn't like each other, and these groups didn't like each other, and it was like, it's my way or the highway,
I think
which sounds very familiar to
Because
us.
the
I
parties,
think they would go
they
to
started
the
making parties.
our way instead of the
and people
highway.
just went into groups.
But what I don't understand is we know we work better together, and better outcomes come from that. Yet when we pick a side, we don't want to give any. Does that make sense? We don't want to either admit we're wrong or say, yeah, there could be an alternative way to work. That's why I didn't watch the presidential debate last night. Because by this time, I think most people have decided who they're going to vote for.
Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. And no matter what is said in those debates, people's minds aren't going to change. Plus, the debate, I don't feel is really a debate anymore. If you want a serious debate, I bet people would not actually watch it.
Ooh,
Okay.
this might get
There's
ugly.
Children fighting over who gets the toy.
That I feel like that's it. And so at first I was like, oh, they're going to ask me tomorrow if I watched it, and I'm the history teacher. Okay. But when I looked at my news feed this morning or my Facebook feed, I'm so glad I didn't, because it was like little kids arguing. And that is not.
Is it time to pack up?
Yes,
Stop, please.
No.
Joe Biden made himself look
I think they probably both made themselves look stupid. And it's embarrassing to say that our presidential leaders. Just a minute, Tony. I'm not done speaking. Okay. No, I feel like it's an embarrassment to not only America, but to the rest of the world, Harrison, to have two people argue, yet they can't actually form a coherent sentence. So that's why I didn't watch it. Okay? All right, Tony, are you going to hand out the paper towels, or are you going to spray?
No. I was actually gonna grab a wipe so I can